much, as you look at this space in 2020, do you expect firms to increase their spending on cybersecurity threats like you and your company?
No, it's a great question. I think the reality is the cyber concerns are increasing, not decreasing, because we've seen lots of very highly visible attacks. People need to improve their posture. And so I expect spending on cyber-related products and services to increase over the coming year.
You were talking about some 3 key trends that you
Sure.
see really going forward. The first of which is that they target people, not the infrastructure. How are they becoming more personalized, where more and more we get tricked, if you will?
Well, I think the reality is infrastructure broadly has become more secure. So what is more vulnerable is a person. So some type of targeted attack using some form of social engineering. And what does that mean? They just look at your Facebook account, they look at Instagram, they try to figure out something about you, and then they craft a lure that makes you want to click or engage in some way.
What do we do to stop it? Is there anything?
No, I think there's a number of things. So one is we provide security to help organizations block these kinds of threats coming in, identify and detect them and block them. We also do a lot of work helping raise the awareness of every single employee, because I think we can all be better at identifying ourselves and ensuring that we're not being lured into some kind of cyber threat or cyber attack. Because the unfortunate reality is if they attack you at work, they probably will attack you at home as well.
Well, the second point that shocked me was email. I thought we all knew how to ignore spam emails. How are we still getting tricked by emails?
It's the way business runs today, and so those are the kinds of attacks coming in. And if you just look back, 94% of all breaches come back to a single person. And the way they're being targeted is either an email or through some cloud app. Some way an employee is interacting with some cloud application. We
are fastly approaching those 2020 elections. What are the threats at this moment in the cycle of the election? What are the biggest issues at this moment?
Well, I think that in any time where there's some form of uncertainty around major events, like an election is a perfect example of that, you have a lot more participation by cyber actors. Because what they will do is create lures that are related to that particular event or that particular point in time. So the election's perfect for that, where people are going to click on something, be more susceptible to being lured into some kind of attack.
How are you assisting political campaigns in that?
So for us, what we're really trying to do is help all of our customers be better secure and secure their employees. And so we're very much focused on watching what threat actors are doing, watching where the market is headed, and ensuring that we're one step ahead of where the threat actors are.
Do you see similar threats like we saw in the DNC hack in Clinton back in 2016? Are those threats similar, and are we better prepared?
I think we're better prepared, but the attacks are probably more sophisticated today. And I think that as we enter the election year, you're going to see a lot more participants more broadly in the threat environment. So everything from state actors to organized crime to anyone trying to take advantage of another person.
What do we do to prevent, I'm not thinking hacking on our voting machines, but more bigger, a utility, a power grid? Is there anything to do to prevent those, which fortunately have been fewer in the U.S.?
No, I think there's this broader awareness today across all those organizations. They are raising the awareness of their employees. They're improving their infrastructure. And I think that going back to the first point we made is the thing that's most vulnerable today is people, because that ultimately is the root of any kind of breach that ultimately happens. And so organizations are thinking hard about how do they better defend their people, because they're the key to unlocking what's behind those doors.
Any big change we could make today to help the election in 2020? Keep it safe.
Well, I think that everyone needs to be vigilant, because if you look over the course of the last 18 months, $26 billion have been lost as it relates to even a simple category of business email compromise. And so the motivation and the incentive is there for threat actors. And so I think we all as individuals at work and at home need to be more vigilant.